Hello, everybody, and welcome to Heart with Sandhya Krishnan. This is where we like to tell inspiring stories or gain insights from others. Today, I have another very special guest with me. This is a lady who I have admired from afar, quite literally, because I've never seen her until today. Her name is Pardita Mascerhanas, and I happened to become her customer 3 years ago. Uh, she sells vegan products. Now I'll tell you, we'll go to that a little bit in just a bit. Her brand is called Break of Dawn. But I was really impressed because when I first placed my order with her, and it was a gift voucher that I received, I live quite far away from her in a city like Mumbai. As you know, distances can be very, very far. And Pardita delivered my order on time without question. And over the years, I've just seen her consistently deliver time and again. Now, this is not about how amazing it is to be vegan and us selling a vegan lifestyle. This is really about getting to the heart of what an entrepreneur is, and I will give this secret out that Pardita is quite camera and social media shy, a rarity in today's age. So I had to beg, bully, plead to get her on because I wanted her to share the story. So on another count about what it takes for an introvert to be a business owner, to be in such a visible space, and to have the courage to do what she does day after day, and now to come and speak in public. So for all of these reasons, welcome Pardita Mascerhanas. Pardita, how
Thank
lovely
you.
to have you here.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Sandhya. Thank you for making me feel so comfortable when I'm very, very nervous. But I'm very happy to be here, honestly.
I like it's like I said, if your story is able to inspire one other person to go out of their comfort zone, one other person to do something that they believe in, and to learn just the basics of trade, right? We now think that business is about being showy, being out there, networking,
Yes.
and yet let's start right at the beginning. Break of Dawn.
Yes.
What
Yes.
inspired you to start the business?
So honestly, I turned vegan about, as I said, 5.5 years ago, and I was an avid uh, milk drinker, a yogurt fan. So I did it for health reasons actually. Wanted to get a little more fit, and was suggested that maybe I should try, giving up dairy. So when I did give up dairy, I realized that the options in the market about 5 years ago were very bleak. Like there was not much out there. There was Tetra Pak almond milk, but honestly, after trying it, I was quite disappointed because for a milk drinker, they like the consistency of milk. It can't taste like water.
Yes.
So I started making it honestly for myself. There was no real plan, honestly, because I'm actually, I was doing another business.
Yes.
So I didn't really have any thoughts. I was a jewelry designer. I still am on the side, honestly, now. But so the idea was make it for myself, make it for my brother, who's also lactose intolerant. And it turned out that, it tasted good. And, I had, because I was vegan, I was a part of this whole vegan, groups. You get to know people very intimately when you're vegan. Suddenly it becomes a whole close knit group.
Yes.
And the word spreads fast, honestly. So I was encouraged, of course, by my brother, one, that I should do something which is not available in the market because people are craving for this fresh almond milk,
Yes.
especially for the ones who are struggling, the ones who are transitioning from a non-vegan to a vegan lifestyle, or a dairy-free lifestyle. And then my friends who are vegan chefs kind of pushed me and said, Pradita, you got to do it. It's great. You've created something nice. If you can, you should. So honestly, I started with 2 bottles, Sandhya. I started delivering with 2 bottles with no thought as such that will this become a big brand or do I want to make it a big brand? It was like, if I can help one person, as you said,
Yeah.
if one other person is feeling what I'm feeling, like, oh my God, I don't get what I need. I'm struggling with this lifestyle. Then I thought I'll be happy, honestly. So that's how it began.
Wonderful. I also remember that, and I asked you this question specifically. I said, Pardita, I'm so surprised that you're delivering so far. And then you mentioned to me that you
Yes.
deliver all over Mumbai. You had a very
Yes.
interesting pain point that you were addressing with your business. Why don't you share that?
Yes. Yes. So, one thing is to create a product which people need. the other thing is accessibility. Honestly, in our city, where people, one, are very busy. You have lifestyles where people are rushing to work in the morning and they come back late at night. They don't really have the time sometimes to even focus on health or themselves.
So,
All of us are guilty of that.
yes.
So the idea was that not just make almond milk, but make sure that it gets to your doorstep at the break of dawn, so that that you do not have to slip. You don't have to feel like, oh, let me try dairy for one more day and I will go back to my diet tomorrow. you know so, and the thought was, if normal milk can be delivered and people are getting normal milk at their doorstep,
Yes.
why can't we get almond milk at our doorstep and
One.
early morning?
Yeah.
So that was, so even before I made it, my thing was, even if I make 5 bottles, they need to be delivered wherever it is.
That's amazing. And this is so true behaviorologically as well. So often I have clients telling me that, I want to join a very fancy Pilates class somewhere in the other part of the city. And I'm like, listen, are you really going to travel after work, another 8 kilometers to go and for this specific time? So much of being able to stay healthy is not about doing something very fancy, but doing something that you
Yeah,
can actually sustain on a daily basis,
yeah.
right?
The consistency. Yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely. And about the actual setup itself, right? It can't have been easy. Sort of, do you still work out of a home kitchen?
I do.
I know you have kids. So how do you manage all of that?
So yes, I still work out of my home kitchen. Of course, in the beginning it was simpler, when you start off with a few bottles, and it takes only a little time. But it's gone on to a huge number of bottles per day. So yes, I had to change a lot of things in terms of the kids have to adjust to mom's blenders going on at all crazy hours, and they can't sit there, because it's forever. There's so much noise going on in the kitchen, and I had to make sure that our home stuff, like in terms of our food for the daily, like the lunch, dinner, and everything, was done in time, so that I had my kitchen for break of dawn at a particular time. So schedules changed, but everybody has been like, everybody has been so inspired and so I can say in awe and taken aback of, wow, what is happening. Even at home, like even the children are so inspired by looking at it, that I must say they're proud, like what is happening, like you're delivering here, mom, you're making this, you're making that. So
Yeah,
everybody's chipped in, everybody has molded themselves and their life around a break of dawn in the house, in terms of
yeah.
timing, and what they can and cannot do in the house at a certain time.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And with a name like Break of Dawn, needless to say, Pardita's work hours are insane. or rather, you're like in the newspaper and milk delivery business, right? In a sense. So
It's really, it has been insane. Actually, the beginning was even worse. Not that it's the better now, because earlier it was, at making milk at 2 in the morning, then 3 in the morning, then chilling it, then delivering it at 5 in the morning. So
mm,
essentially, the time when everyone's sleeping, like I'm in the kitchen, and of course. My husband helped me out in the beginning. He was in the kitchen with me when it just began, so he would do it with me, then go to work. So it was not easy, honestly, but he was so passionate, and I am still so like taken by what I'm doing, that people think I'm crazy. I'll be honest, like if your friends or family hear that, what are you doing, like you don't sleep, you're waking up at 2 and 3, then what is happening. So the hours are quite crazy, they still are, because it's like a fresh almond milk, and deliveries happen early morning. So it's still crazy, but hopefully soon it will kind of get, when you build a bigger team and
yes.
things are taken off your plate slowly. Right now it feels like a one-man army, honestly, with a few helpers, and
Yeah, yeah.
so when
And
things
that's
are
what you
kind
need
of
to do, right? As a bootstrapping
yeah,
startup
yes,
entrepreneur, and there are
yes,
sacrifices that you're going to have to make, and you literally have to
yes,
get your hands dirty, right? Uh,
yes. It's been so. I feel slowly when but in the beginning, what happens is you have to do everything, and when you're passionate, you don't think of timing, or we missed out on. I've missed out on every event that people in my family have attended, in terms of birthdays and weddings and get-togethers, trips out of the city. I didn't take a trip for like the longest time, because the kitchen can't close.
yeah,
So
yeah,
because milk is a daily thing. It's not like cake, or it's not dessert. It's
yeah.
like a daily staple. So you know, the first time I took a break, I remember, you know, I actually asked my clients, and I was like, you know what, I was thinking of taking a couple of days off, and everybody, like you said, for heaven's sake, you know, can you please take a break? So yeah,
Yeah, I know. I
it's
keep
been
bullying you.
quite
Say,
something.
Pardita, don't you ever sleep? I'm like, how can you be awake?
Sleep. Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
something very interesting. You'd mentioned once to me that you said that, look, if you'd asked me 5 years ago, would I have been like a vegan entrepreneur? And the reason I'm asking you this question is because so many of my clients ask, oh, what is my real calling, and how will I know
Yeah.
my real calling? I mean,
Yes.
I know for a fact this wasn't something you thought about as a kid, that I'm going to be a vegan
No.
entrepreneur. So
No, not
tell
at
me
all.
how you sort of came into it as a calling, or how do you define
Yeah.
that really, or even does it even need
Yeah.
to be a calling? How do you feel about
Yeah. So you know, as I think I spoke with this at length with you, that I kind of started doing the jewelry work which I'm doing as a jewelry designer stylist, because it's a kind of a family thing. You know, I kind of got into by accident almost. You know, to help my dad and to. But then of course, you know, the kind of person I am. If I get into something, I like to learn about it. So I went ahead and I studied diamond grading in Antwerp, and I did all of that. I started my own brand, and I was doing all of that. But I don't know what happened, but you know, you keep. I'm an avid reader, and I love watching Oprah, and I'm always doing like a lot of reading, and I always felt at some point in the past, about from 5 years, I've been feeling a lack, like something niggling, that something is bothering me. You know, that something I have to do. You know, but this is not it. I
it?
don't.
Mm,
I'm not excited when I wake up like to go and design jewelry, because you see me. I'm like a plain Jane. I don't wear anything. I'm not a jewelry person as such.
yeah.
So I had these niggling thoughts. They were they bothered me quite a bit. I've had long discussions with my sister, my husband, everybody saying, I'm not happy. Something is not there. And then after a while, I realized that, you know, maybe there's something, but if I can't actively look for it like this, because it doesn't seem to happen. I'm, you know, making myself unhappy by thinking there's something else. So I decided to just kind of enjoy. I just said, you know what, this is it. Enjoy what is happening every day. Maybe it's just play with your kids, maybe that's your calling, you know, like, you know, be a
Yeah.
mom,
Yeah.
and you know, whatever, just what you're doing on a daily basis, focus on that. And if there's something else that is to happen with you, if there's a higher purpose or calling, it will come to you, but you have to be at peace for it to come to you. And
Absolutely.
you know, Sandhya, the minute I stopped thinking about my calling and thinking about that I have to be doing something else other than what I was doing, it fell in my lap. It literally fell in my lap. So, I mean, I'm still so amazed how, like, people ask me, you know, you started something at, you know, at this age. And I'm
Yeah.
like, I don't know. It just came to me, you
Yeah.
know, it just came to me.
That's wonderful. It's such a heartwarming story, because I think so much of media puts so much pressure on us that,
Yeah.
on the one hand, that you must be successful, like financially, on, tick
Yes.
boxes. On the other hand,
Yes.
this parallel movement that says, oh, you must find your true calling and it must come to you, and you have
Calling.
to be passionate. Not everybody wakes up with like a burning desire that I'm going to be this,
Yeah.
I'm going to be that. But
Yes.
as you rightly said, sometimes you have to just allow for some space, for something to shift
Yes.
in you, for something to come up.
Yes.
But I love that you listened to yourself, Pradita. Something you felt that
Yeah.
little bit of discomfort. And I always feel that our
Yes.
discomfort tells us so much about ourselves, right? and
Yes.
and that you
Yes.
allowed it the space to just foment within you.
Yeah.
That's where you go.
Yeah.
And you know what, your calling, in inverted commas, could have been three different things, right? I want to look after my kids,
Absolutely.
I want to do something else.
Yeah.
But wonderful. This is, please write a book about this. You put stress and misery. I get people coming to me, the stress of not being but so there was one question which was very important that I wanted to ask you. I know you do work these crazy hours, and the nature of your business is such.
Yeah.
But for any kind of longevity, it has to be sustainable, right? And I think
Yes.
you got that realization. Tell me what
Yes.
work-life balance is for you. Tell me what holistic living is for you. Tell me what
Yeah.
Pardita time is. Have you made any time for
Yes.
that?
Yeah. Yeah. So, you know, honestly, what happened was, before break of dawn, I did have a lot of time, because where the jewelry work was concerned, it was my own. I had my studio. It is not like a staple food thing. So, I had time to kind of, I'm an avid reader. I read a lot. I love just being. I love just sitting in silence, for hours together, like staring at nothing. But what happened is since break of dawn, obviously, so there was little bit of chaos, and it always happens. Out of chaos, only something beautiful is going to be born. So that chaos did happen, and I did kind of lose myself in the chaos, but that was a kind of a voluntary thing. I know that it took a toll, because I used to be a runner. I used to run in the mornings, and now the running time became my kitchen time. So a few months or a year into it, I felt, I've let go of my fitness. I've let go of my running, and I'm not, what am I doing? I'm trying to make time, but at the same time, when I'm in the kitchen, I'm so happy. It's like therapy for me, So I feel, no, you know what? It's going to happen. I just need to let this, like it's a baby right now. I just need to give it a little attention,
Yes.
Let the foundation be strong. Let the people who I'm going to get, be strong. And how you nurture a small baby, they won't know how to walk right away. You have to teach, and you have to have sleepless nights. You've got kids, we know we've barely slept when the babies are born,
Yeah.
right? So
Yeah.
this is the same thing. A new baby was born, 3 years ago. And I thought the first couple of years are going to be sleepless nights, a lot of like crying about what is happening, a lot of, I'm not getting time for myself. But, just before the lockdown, and I kind of realized that I was feeling the need to just take a day off. So the Saturdays became like my girlfriend and me decided that you're not going to do anything, and we're just going to loaf like crazy girls. We'll go for drives, and we'll go to one of these nice vegan places, or we'll just go for a drive, but go buy plants or do anything. But Saturday became like a day where or even just sleep and read all day, whatever I felt like. So I kind of started doing it just before, I think, the beginning of this year. One of the things was that I would start taking a little time, and everybody understands. Honestly, my clients are the most understanding people I know.
Yeah.
I mean, and they're so loving, honestly, because they're so grateful
Yes.
for everything I'm doing, and then they really understand. Even if I tell them certain things like I can't deliver at a time, even though I've promised, and I feel like something, like either I'm not okay or I'm overworked,
Yeah.
they're very understanding. So I've,
Sorry, go ahead. Go ahead. No, I was just
No,
saying
so I feel that you feel that sometimes you feel that people don't understand, but honestly, I tell you, people do understand.
Yes.
You just have to be vocal about what you feel or what you need. A little bit of help sometimes. If you're just vocal and say, you know what, I really need a break, or I need some time. Can I just get some time?
Yeah.
And people do understand. You don't have to be in this all by yourself and think that no one understands you.
Completely. I was just mirroring that, exactly the words that you said, actually. Even in the workplace, Pardita, so often we're scared to take some time off for ourselves because we feel that we're going to lose out, we're going to miss out. People will perceive that as weakness. But I think having the courage to state that these are my boundaries and I need this time for myself, more often than not, we're pleasantly surprised, right? And if there are people that cannot understand it, I would say it would be their loss. And that if we would like Pardita's products for the next 10 years, if we want Pardita to have good work-life balance,
Absolutely.
Absolutely, right? And I think this is true, not just of particularly true of entrepreneurship as well. If you want to be in this for the long haul, it's really important. And I think on a daily basis as well, you do balance out your activities now, and you do keep you've started your workouts.
Yes, like I've kind of taken that time where I do, I'm doing yoga in the middle of the hall at like 5 p.m. And I'm like, everybody can be here. The staff can do what they want around me. I'm doing yoga at 5 because it makes me feel like 1 hour. It makes me feel that so much more energy, and to continue the rest of the day, night, whatever I have to do. But as a person, I tend to kind of put myself last. I've done that very often. We do it usually, especially when you become parents. You kind of, kids come first. Then before that, parents come first. Everybody comes first, and then we are like at the bottom of the list. But you realize that, and this has been told to me by my husband also, that if you are not okay, then nobody is going to be okay. So it's best that, you take and you do what makes you happy, and you have to put yourself first in terms of your well-being, how you feel, the rest you need, the time that you need, so that, because if you're okay, then everything will fall into place in the
Yeah.
house automatically,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm kind of consciously trying to take that time and kind of slowly build a team where I know that I don't have to do everything. Like, I don't have to do everything on my own, you
Yes.
know?
We were talking about sort of this being ability to this ability to set our boundaries, right, Pardita? And
Yes.
I did ask you this once before as well, but that I know that a lot of people would have approached you, right? Because you're one of the few brands that have come out. You've been consistent with the quality of your products. You have
Yes.
a limited
Yes.
menu, but you do
Yes.
experiment, and we
Yes.
know kind of what to expect with your brand. So obviously, like
Yes.
you're an investor's dream. uh,
Yeah.
I want to hear your philosophy on how you feel right now about whether it's okay to say no to like rapid expansion, or what is, like everybody's going
Yeah.
to, everyone asks you, what's the next big plan? How big do you want to get?
Big plan.
How fast? And, why aren't you like a
Yeah.
multi-million-dollar entrepreneur
Why
yet?
aren't you everywhere? Why
Yes,
aren't you
exactly,
everywhere?
exactly. Yes.
That question, was asked to me already in the first 6 months of Break of Dawn. And I found it a little premature at that time, of course, because I was still kind of taking baby steps, and I still believe that, you have to go with what your plan for your brand is, not for what the world's plan for your brand is,
One.
because, people who are investors or even business people, I mean, they don't mean any harm. They don't, but see, their mindset is that they want to take something and they want to make it huge.
Yes.
Now, maybe that is not the plan you have for yourself, because sometimes you don't know. And when I began, honestly, I was so busy with the work, just like doing the day to day, that I never thought about social media and marketing and where am I going with this whole journey. I just said, you know what, I love doing this, and I'm reaching more people, and people are appreciating. I'm able to help so many people who are unwell, so many kids who are unwell, people with cancer who have to give up dairy, and I felt so proud that I could deliver and help them in their journey to kind of not feeling that they're deprived. Like, when someone tells me, my God, your rose milk saved me, like, it feels, it's so good to hear. So, I I do have, I would like to, of course, grow, but I prefer an organic growth where I don't want to be a mass produced kind of a thing. I don't think that I can be, because of the nature of my products. They are, all of them have a shelf life, and they are freshly made. So, this whole being on all shelves everywhere is not something I envision. But yes, I love, a partnership which is very, it has to fit. Like, the person you're working with, they have to understand your brand philosophy. That what do you stand for?
So
Not that I want to take your product and I'm going to go splash it all over the
yeah.
country. You know,
This is so relevant because for a lot of us as entrepreneurs, it's very easy to get mesmerized by the lure of
yes,
exponential growth, and
yes,
so many fabulous
yes,
brands have simply collapsed because an
yes.
entrepreneur simply handed it over. So what you said about
No,
having like a vision for your brand, and who knows, Pardita, 2 years or 3 years down the line, you may say, okay, now I'm ready for mass
yeah,
production. New technology
yes,
will come in to improve
yes,
life, whatever. And being open to that is
absolutely,
a different thing, but having good clarity on what you don't want to do at this point,
yes.
I think, is equally important. Also, everything
It's
comes at a price, right? If you do say, okay, I'm going to 10x my productivity right away, that means that with the limited resources you have, Pardita is going to stretch
yes,
herself that much more. It's always, we always
yes.
have to do it at a price, and we need to know, whether this is right for us at
What is
this
okay,
point.
what is acceptable to us. And I think it's a fear of, it's, I say, the fear of missing out, or the fear of saying no, that drives a lot of brands into, even, people ask me, why don't you make this, or why don't you add this
Yeah,
to your menu, why don't you add that. It's because the, and I'm like, no, I mean, that's not what I do.
yeah,
This is what I do. And whatever Break of Dawn aspires to do will be according to what I feel the journey of. It can't be like I'm doing almond milk and then I'm making mithai on the side as well. You know
yeah,
what I mean?
yeah,
It's
absolutely.
because the market is suddenly, talking about, say, vegan mithai. It doesn't mean I have to put my hand into it, because, or I'll miss out that opportunity because I have, people tell me this, you have such a big client base, whatever you do will sell. I said, but that is not how I think. You know what I mean? It's, I don't have that fear that if I stop, if I don't make something, like even when I took a vacation, and people actually, my clients asked me that if you go, what will we do? And I wasn't afraid. I said, you know what, I know that you don't like the Tetra Packs. I understand that, but I'm not there for a couple of days. You try this, try this brand, maybe see how it works for you. And don't worry about it. I'll be back in a week. And eventually and people would think, how can you recommend another brand? It's like taking away your client and giving it to somebody else, but I come back like a week later and they're like, oh my God, I appreciate you so much more now.
Wonderful. I mean, just having that faith in what you do, the strength of what you do, and not fear-based, right? But
Yes.
I did suspect that you were going to be a wealth of information. You were very, very difficult to catch. And I know I've caught you on your one day off, but this has been so insightful, so inspiring. Um, tell us how we can find your brand. And you do deliver all over Mumbai, right?
Yes. So I deliver across the city Monday to Saturday early mornings. And I don't have a website, but of course I'm on Instagram as Break of Dawn India. It's not yet an open public page, so you will have to request. I'm getting the hang. I'm getting there to making it public. But as of now, it's you can request Break of Dawn India. If you look me up, I'm sure you'll find it.
Yes, absolutely. So far, word of mouth has worked brilliantly for you. I love
Yes.
that you've been true to your personality, true to your own vision, and really true to your life. No business should come at the cost of the rest of your life. So
Yes.
it's really been a wonderful story. Thank you so much for sharing this with us, Pardita, and for agreeing to do this interview with
Thank you, Sandhya.
I've been
Thank you so
inspired.
much.
I'm so much happier and healthier with your products. I mean, at the end of the
Thank
day,
you.
veganism is just a lifestyle. It's just everyday,
Yes.
bhaji, dal, rice. But every
Yes.
time we wanted that little extra, we want that milk in our
Extra.
coffee. We want that
Yes.
lovely bit of feta, which you also make.
Yes.
I go nowhere else other than to Break of Dawn.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Wonderful story, and I wish you all the very best. May you go exactly where you want to go. And
Thank you, Sandhya.
yeah,
Thank you. That's the best thing I've heard.
thank you. Bye. Thank you, everybody.
Bye.
If you found this story inspiring, do share it with others. And if you've been considering veganism or just eating or introducing a little bit of plant-based into your life, and if you happen to live in Mumbai, do check out Break of Dawn India. And like I said, plant-based eating is just about awareness. It's conscious eating. It's kind eating. It is healthy eating. You don't need to go cold turkey overnight. Just try and introduce it in small doses, and it can be fun. You don't have to be deprived at all, thanks to wonderful entrepreneurs like Pardita. Thank you all for watching, and do subscribe. Have a great day.